Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to look at 6 things from Leviticus 2 and 3. So excited that we're into the book of Leviticus. Now remember, number 1, we're into the law. The focal point here is on the actions of the priests, the Levites, and that's kind of laws pertaining to their expertise, which is dealing with the offerings, sacrifices in the temple, that sort of thing. So we're going to see how they interact. We will also see some of the people's responsibility, but mainly the Levites. 2, the law we start with is meal or grain. Now in the King James, it's going to say meat a few times, and that's an old English word meaning food. So in this particular case, it's grains, breads, vegetables, those kind of things that we're going to run across. Number 3, as we look through the law, we start to see that God set up the law not just to show us what's right, what's wrong, what we should do, what we shouldn't, but he also sets it up for care. We'll see this later in the law for the common person, but here we see that God cares for the priests. He's told them, you're not going to have any ancestral land as an inheritance like these other tribes. Your job is going to be to run the tabernacle, eventually the temple, to minister before God. And so because of that, I'm also going to take care of you. So you'll see this a few times in the offerings that God gets a portion and then the other portion goes to the priest. This is so that they can have food to eat. They're busy in the tabernacle. Number 4, we're going to get to the word oblation. It's a food offering, a bread offering. Unleavened bread. It has to be unleavened bread if it's going to be bread. Leaven represents sin in the scripture, and it also says no honey, which I found interesting. Don't know why yet. Maybe we'll catch it as we go through, but that is a detail. When we look at the bread offering having to be unleavened, you might see it as also, remember, the sheep and the cows had to be spotless, perfect. So this leaven must be the same, and they were going to split the bread, pour some oil on this and offer it to God, and then they would get to keep the portion. Remember, God caring for the priests. Number 5, a peace offering must be unblemished, just like the burnt offering. But they're going to take some different parts out in the peace offering than they did in the burnt offering. And number 6, a little tidbit at the very end of chapter 3 is that the priest, we know, is going to get a portion of the offering of God, but they can't eat the blood. It says, you may not eat the blood. That is not a thing. That is holy, it's sacred, it has the life of the animal in it. It says other places in the scripture. So you can't eat the blood. That's true across the board for priest and non-priest. But when the priest is dealing with this animal and getting to keep a portion, they can't have any of the fat. That belongs to God, it says. So that's interesting. That portion is God, and God alone in the offering is the fat. So let's check it out. Chapters 2 and 3. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour. Remember, meat just means food. And he shall pour oil on it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priest, and he shall take thereat his handful of the flour thereof, and the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be made an offering of fire, of a sweet savor to the Lord. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. And if it shall bring an oblation of meat offering, baked in the oven, again, still just food, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour, mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers, anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baked in a pan, it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour the oil thereon. It is a meat offering. So again, It's just bread. He's torn it apart, puts oil on one of it, and that's the offering for God. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is with these things unto the Lord. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it on the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. No meat offering which you shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven, for you shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, if any offering of the Lord be made by fire. As the oblation of first fruits, ye shall offer them unto the Lord, but they will not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of any covenant of the God to be lacking from thy meat offering. And all thine offerings shalt thou offer with salt. Very interesting. And if thou offer a meat offering of the first fruits of the Lord, thou shalt offer a meat offering for the first fruits, green ears of corn dried by fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil on it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial part of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire to the Lord. I wonder what the connection is. It was saying you got to put salt on all your offerings. I wonder why maybe we are the salt of the earth, that we are part of the offering to God. Put it in the comments what you think. And chapter 3, if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish for the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priest, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul of the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. So they're taking that part out. That might be different. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is the wood that is on the fire, and it is an offering made by fire with a sweet savor unto the Lord. And as if his offering is for a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord, be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. He shall offer a lamb for his offering. Then he shall offer it before the Lord. He shall lay his hand on the head of the offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round the altar, and he shall offer the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat thereof, and the whole rump, it shall be taken off hard by the backbone. And the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with kidneys, it shall be taken away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is a food offering made by fire unto the Lord. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall lay it before the Lord, and he shall lay his hand on the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof on his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat that covereth the innards, and all the fat that is upon the innards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall be taken away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is food for the offering made by fire, sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. Pretty interesting. The fat belongs to God. The blood is sacred. Well, we're moving our way right through Leviticus. Pretty excited about that. All of these things are just pointing towards a society that's run the way God sees that it should go. And these offerings, we're going to go through several more of those of the different types. So stick with us. We'll catch you next time.